the other things haven't come on, like thinking my wife is somebody else. Maybe that's further down the line, or that she's a prostitute, or
Mm-hmm.
there's a name for that. And I don't remember what it is. But
Yeah, you're right. And I can't think of it at the moment either. Show snapgrass or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Snapgrass or something like that.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't have that. I am suspicious, but that's my nature and part of my PTSD.
Right.
Thought people moved in next door were Chinese intelligence signals unit. So,
Mm-hmm.
but that was ago. Used to think
Yeah.
people were following me, but that was part of the trade craft,
Yes. Right.
doing
Um,
uh, doing anti detection stuff. But
yeah.
I do drift off and look out the window.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that the neurologist that I have, he opened the windows for me. He's been 3 for 3 now. Before I saw him, the windows weren't open. I would imagine I'd be drooling, kind of just
Mm-hmm.
sitting there. But he it's not for everybody, and we talk all about this. We have no limits on this
Mm-hmm.
because it's not an organization. It's they don't have to abide by HIPAA and all that stuff.
Right.
We're who we are.
Right.
Private organization. I forgot
Uh,
where I was at. What was I?
well, we were talking about your psychiatrist,
Oh,
and he opened the windows for you.
he did. He put me on Namenda, and then he put me on Aricept. Both
Mm-hmm.
uh, stepped up,
Mm-hmm.
and it was unbelievable. It
Oh,
was like
wow.
it was like the blinds being opened. And I asked him. I said, "Was this your expected results?" And he says, "Nope." He said, You're like the 1 percentile who has this success." And I said, "Oh." And then my rim and
Mm-hmm.
uh, leg movement disorder was
Yes.
horrible. I would throw myself out of the bed. It was all violent, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of people that have this, they are
Mm-hmm.
violent. But
Yeah.
I'm actually uh, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. But your background is what does that too. I mean,
Wasn't Yeah, I wasn't
yeah.
like a serial murderer. I was chasing a
No,
bad guy, ripping his
yeah,
head off.
right. But it was dangerous, I suspect.
So I've only brushed my wife with my fingers once because we have a huge bed and we usually have 6 dogs in it. But I would throw myself out of the bed, snatching a guy,
Hmm.
and they told me to pat everything and blah blah blah. But he put me on another drug. I have to keep a list of all my doctors and all the stuff.
Right.
I forget of it, but I don't know if you even want to know the name of it. But
Yeah, I would like to. I would
boom,
love to. I would
it
love to.
it took care of it. I
Yes.
get it occasionally now, so I don't know if that means, because he said these things are not permanent.
Right.
Eventually, they're going to start uh, slowing
Being
down.
less effective. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I would love to know what he put you on for, like your restless leg. Is that what you mean? And the
it was
movement issues.
both
It was
restless
what?
leg and rim movement disorder.
Hmm.
And uh,
And it was called what?
yeah, I'm looking for it.
Oh, okay. I was worried I missed it.
Okay. Uh, huh, that's really weird. I deleted
I'm trying to think of all the things I know of that.
clozapam.
Clonazepam. Clonazepam.
Yeah.
Clonopin, clonazepam,
Yeah.
clonazepam. Yes.
It-
Did that help you sleep too?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
take
that's
the Mayo Clinic told me to get on the natural stuff. Starts with an M.
oh, melatonin.
It didn't do nothing for me,
Mm-hmm.
but now
Even
I do. I take 20 milligrams, and if I really think it's going to be bad, 30.
of melatonin.
Yeah, and
Uh-huh.
it helps. I usually will stay asleep till 4. If I
Mm-hmm.
know if I'm really in my body,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a walking wound. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, there's a lot of people. If I know I'm going to have a bad um, pain and
Mm-hmm.
this, I'll
Yeah.
take THC without a
Mm-hmm.
doubt,
THC. Okay, cool.
or C or
Yeah. Or the CBD oil.
yeah,
Okay. And
the
does that help? You feel like the CBD and THC help?
yes,
Yes.
and a lot of my compatriots swear by it too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. This is great information. Have they ever had put you on it like Seroquel or anything like that? Uh-huh. Did that work or
Uh,
no?
way before this happened, my psychiatrist put me on Seroquel,
Mm-hmm.
and it was bad news for me because I was working, and my travel was about 45 miles each way, 45 minutes each way.
Mm-hmm.
I'd fall asleep
Yeah.
while driving.
Oh my,
So
yeah.
he took me off that, but I hear other people saying I just haven't gone back to it. But
Well, I think it helps with the hallucinations and things, right? Or the thinking. Um, but more of the more the delusions and the hallucinations and things, I thought, or the paranoia, but it does have a huge sleep component to it.
yeah,
Um, that's a real downside. Um,
yeah, it was pretty dangerous for me at the
mhm,
time. Now it wouldn't be a big deal. I mean,
mhm,
I take naps through the day, not as much as I used to. I
mhm,
usually sleep 11 hours a day at night,
mhm,
and I'll probably take an hour and a half nap with all my dogs and kitty.
mhm,
My my family took my dogs away. Well, it's family dogs, but they
mhm.
let me have my kitty, and she's without her, I don't know what I do.
Yeah.
She'll lay right up here on the this thing that goes up and down my recliner,
Recliner. Uh-huh.
up against my leg when it's at night, kind of telling me, okay, Dad, it's good time to go to sleep. And when it's time to go to sleep, she'll lay right down next to me. And then I'll put
Aw.
my hand down. She'll put her paws right on either side of my hand and put her head down on my hand.
Oh, that is so sweet. Now, did
She's
they? That's wonderful.
she's
That
my baby.
that's wonderful. That is so wonderful. Now, did they take the dogs away because you might have accidentally hurt them? Yeah.
No, they thought I would trip over them.
Oh, oh, good point.
But
Yes.
my wife brings them every day, so they have probably 6 hours with me,
Oh,
uh,
nice.
play and spend time with me. But at night, they can disrupt my sleep pretty good. Uh,
Well, this is a question I have. What types of things do you like to do with your time? What do you do with your time during the day now? Because I know you were a very busy, not sit down kind of guy, sounds like most of your life, very active. And
that's mostly what I do now.
yeah, it's just is sit. And can you still read for content? Can read a book or something?
I go to Audible now.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm.
I've got a lot of Audible books. and I can still read printed, but it seems to me that, and I don't know if it's true, I can, like my Bible, I do a lot of Bible reading. So I do it hearing and through reading. But if I'm like reading just without sound, I don't know if there's more processes in that than hearing it only. I don't know, but it seems that Audible works
Really
for me.
helps.
And I do watercolor, but in fact, I owe my daughter a watercolor painting. But
That's nice.
big thing that I have is apathy. We all experience apathy, and mine's been pretty throughout. So Monday, I was going to start working out. I've worked out all my life.
Right.
So I'm going to start just a little, work myself up. Nope, can't get it. Or don't want to.
Yeah.
So
I can understand that. Can you watch a movie? Do you enjoy watching things on TV? Yeah. Yeah.
I can follow the movies. I love movies.
Yeah.
I do I do. My oldest daughter would probably be throwing me on the floor saying, "Dad, you're gonna die sitting there so long." She's a psychologist, and oh my goodness, she gives me the not a good it's not a good
not a good thing. Do you follow the news or try not to? Does that agitate you?
Not as much as it did a year ago. I would screw my head through the ceiling and become violent and post very violent things on when I was on Facebook. I mean, things that I'd have to go back, and I said, and I don't know if you're a Christian or not, but I said, is that really what the Lord would want you to watch? I'd have to go back and redact.
Yeah.
It was like,
excuse me,
like cut your throat and tear your guts out and stomp your,
right.
For those who are enemies against the state. And, I've got buddies at work or at church that kind of will come around me and calm down. And my psychiatrist said, "Jim, you need to stop watching the news."
And they understand you. They understand that it's
So
not you.
What I do is on the Apple on the phone, I'll go through the Apple News and just look at the headlines. Just to make sure, the zombies aren't attacking or something like that.
Right.
I do keep myself informed with Ukraine. But things don't bother me as much. I mean, the whole political scene, I'm very, very unhappy, but that's just how it is. So I think I'm doing good with that.
Yeah. Well, good. Do you like music? Does that help?
Music is a big help, and a lot of us use it. It can be serene at night. I put on, his name is Tim Janis, and he's on Facebook, and he just does. It is just beautiful.
And it's calming, I'm sure.
Yes.
Very calming.
But I also listen to rock and roll, and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Contemporary.
Well, what would, from a caregiving standpoint, what would your wife say is some of her struggle with you? Do you know?
Violent.
Yeah. The violence.
Episodes. I was violent before this came on. My whole life. For various reasons. My mother was murdered.
Oh
uh,
my.
um, just a lot of stuff. And then the
Hmm.
military backgrounds. But I mean, I spent my whole life in special operations, but that's, I think there's just a lot more to it than that.
Hmm.
Um, we've had a troubled marriage for
Hmm.
the first several years. Her temper was as quick as mine.
Hmm.
I mean, that was a really bad thing,
Hmm.
a really bad thing. So
Both of
she
you having that. Yeah. Hmm.
now things have changed through counseling and through
Hmm.
uh, prayer and maturity and
Hmm.
just change in
Hmm.
environmentals.
Hmm.
But um, she could see or sense when I'm going to be fine. I said, Lynn, I'm fine. But
Hmm.
she's got in her mind, she's got to go into a protective deal. And
Right.
that's why, we had to buy
Hmm.
another house for her.
Are you happy? You said you have, so you only have family that's caring for you. You don't have um, other caregivers that come in at night or something. It's just your daughters and your wife.
Well, my oldest daughter, they just moved to Raleigh, Durham
Hmm.
from Denver so they could be closer.
Oh, nice.
My youngest daughter lives in Kansas. My
Okay.
son live further away.
Hmm.
So it's actually my wife, but my psychiatrist she's supposed to be lining up physical therapy for me to come
Oh,
in.
good. Uh-huh.
And I do know that there's a lot of things. I'm a 100% disabled VA, so
Uh-huh.
the doors open for everything
Yes.
for them. So I don't. I can take my meds. I can feed myself. I can wash myself.
Hmm.
But I know there's a time that maybe
Hmm.
palliative or.
Right.
But the other thing is, I'm in line for a veterans home,
Oh,
and
okay.
oh, you're in North Carolina, aren't
I'm in
you?
North Carolina. Uh-huh. I'm in Raleigh.
Well, Kernersville, there's a brand new facility, and it's based. There's one in Black Mountain, and
Hmm.
they're absolutely gorgeous. They're private rooms,
Oh,
one
nice.
TV, Wi-Fi, and they haven't opened it. They have not opened
It yet.
it yet, but
Hmm.
supposed to be sometime. And I know that I'm on the list. The lady at Black Mountain, she's not returning my calls. I don't know if my wife told her not to, or she's just tired. I call her every so many months to see where I'm at on the list. But
Right.
at Black Mountain, it's by attrition.
Hmm.
For long term care, they only have 20 some beds.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
the one in Kernersville is much larger.
Hmm.
I'm not ready to go until my kitty dies.
Hmm. How old is your cat?
I don't. She's not that old. She might be
Okay.
5 years old, but
Okay.
and that's probably around the time when I'm really gonna need it.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I don't I don't have a problem going there.
Hmm.
But I told my daughters that when end of life is here, I want to
Hmm.
come home and I want to be in my house here. I've
Hmm.
already got it. We've got electricity to our living room to where I can look out our main window and see hummingbirds. And
Oh, nice.
I want to die here, not in a.
Right. Right. Um,
I've
well,
got.
yours.
I'm sorry. Len and I last year we took care of all of our. And I talked to my mom. My dad died from Alzheimer's, so she
Mhm.
was a caregiver for that. And I was telling
Mhm.
her, well, Lynn's love for me is not the same. And she says, well, it changes. It
Mhm.
changes when you change. you still love the person, but it's just a different kind of love.
Yeah.
And that's kind of hard for me to take. But anyway.
Well, I figure that's probably true as people age anyway, and things change. Um, I I would think maybe that's normal for anything, even dementia aside. Wouldn't you think a little bit? Uh, in sickness and in health, were are our vows that we take when we marry. So she still
Yeah,
loves you, I'm
she
sure.
does.
Hmm.
She does. She doesn't verbally say it as much. I said, I love you. And she
Hmm.
says, okay, bye-bye.
Hmm. Well, it's
But
there.
I,
It's
I,
there.
I love my wife. I love my children. I have 8 grandchildren. They're all the beat of my heart.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And
That is wonderful.
they love their grandpa.
Um,
I travel well. Travel is like riding a bike. I've traveled since I was a child,
mhm.
on airplanes and then throughout my life. So traveling's no big deal, but I think it's going to become a big deal.
That's still a possibility. Do you fly to see your grandkids now at this point out to Kansas? Well,
Mhm.
that's nice.
I
That's
fly to Seattle. See, my mom lives in Washington State,
oh,
and
that's nice.
I will fly to Kansas where my little girl is.
Mhm.
The little girl, she's 33,
Mhm.
and my grandchildren. I couldn't ask for a better son-in-law. And then my oldest daughter's here in Raleigh,
Mhm.
and her husband, which is, he's my buddy too. He was a retired military guy. He got out. He had too much stuff going on that
Mhm.
happened in Afghanistan. So anyway, and they've got a new baby, their first.
Oh,
So
that's so nice. And
um,
occasionally, like I found it was very hard sometimes when my dad was delusional or not doing terribly well. I could tell he would be frightened of the things that he would see. And that was hard for me because what I would call my real dad, he was tough and he didn't get frightened by things, at least not so that I knew it. I'm sure things frightened him, but to me, he was all powerful and he was never afraid of things. So that was hard. And I had to readjust to that too, because it was like, and that's how I knew there was a difference. Even if he was agitated about something, because I could tell he was a little frightened, then I took it differently because I'm like, I know this is not dad in his
mhm.
normal state, because I just didn't see him like that. That was new for me. And
Right.
well, this has been very enlightening. Um, uh,
Really?
Everything you've said, I think it will help others. Is there any couple things that you would want a caregiver to know?
Read books on how to be a Lewy body caregiver.
Hmm.
Read books on what Lewy body is.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Join support groups.
Hmm.
Um, give yourself a break. Um, knowing my mom and everything,
Hmm.
see if a friend or something can't come over, depending
Hmm.
on the depending on the at what level the disease is at,
Hmm.
to have time with so she can go do stuff,
Right.
because it's very hard on a caregiver, as you know.
Right.
um if they are if they are having, like, some people have some huge I can't remember, like see big rabbits or little
Right.
people, and,
Hmm.
and just go with it. Don't
Right.
say no, it's not there. Just go with it, because the people are not afraid. They know they're not real, but they still see them. So it's,
Right.
I say, well, when they come to me, at least I won't be lonely. I can just, have a talking session with them.
Right.
But those are pretty important. Don't take things for granted and
Hmm.
believe in them,
Hmm.
because it's Lewy body is a chameleon.
Hmm.
I think there's
I think
time
so too.
there's times when that person looks fine, walks fine, blah blah blah. Then the next day or the next hour, he's falling. He
Hmm.
can't talk very well.
Hmm.
That's all part of the. That's all part of Louis.
Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed this. And I think this interview right here kind of exemplifies really how different Lewy body is from something like Alzheimer's, because you still have the understanding, um, and I know it comes and goes, but the understanding and the cognitive ability to carry on this conversation and relay your information very clearly to me, even if you couldn't think of a few words. I 100% knew what you were saying. And um, that's and then there are all those odd things that go with Lewy body that it makes a disconnect. And I think that's hard for caregivers because you seem so normal sometimes and so different at other times.
Little by little, I'm changing. But
Hmm.
for me, for for me, I am very blessed, Lori. I am very blessed.